What's the one thing almost every air traveler gets wrong about flying? For many of us, it's the fear of turbulence, those sudden drops or shakes that can be unsettling when you're 30,000 feet in the air. You might have felt it before. The plane hits an air pocket and your stomach does a little flip. It's natural to worry, but here's the surprising part. Turbulence is not as dangerous as you might think. In fact, planes are designed to withstand it, with flexible wings that can bend and absorb the stresses of turbulent air. And here's another reassuring fact. Pilots are trained to navigate through turbulence, using sophisticated radar and weather forecasting tools to minimize its impact. So, is turbulence actually dangerous? We'll get to the answer, but first, let's explore why this myth has persisted for so long. After all, if turbulence isn't the hazard we've been led to believe, what's the real story? Vocabulary: turbulence, misconception, reassuring, sophisticated. So what is turbulence exactly? Think of it like driving on a bumpy road. You're cruising along smoothly when suddenly you hit a pothole and your car shakes or sways, like that. Well, the same thing happens to planes in the air. Now, here's the surprising part. Turbulence isn't a sign of bad weather. It's actually a natural occurrence in the atmosphere. Just like how bumps on a road are caused by changes in surface elevation, turbulence is caused by differences in air movement at different altitudes and speeds. Imagine you're flying high above the clouds, and suddenly there's a rush of hot air rising up from below. This creates an upward push that can make your plane rise too. At the same time, the plane might encounter areas where the air is sinking, pulling it down. As these air currents mix and jostle around each other, they create those wobbly shakes you feel in the cabin. This turbulence isn't dangerous. Planes are designed to handle all sorts of conditions. The wings and tail are built to maintain stability even when the plane is tossed about a bit. And pilots have special training on how to navigate through these turbulent patches, ensuring everyone stays safe and comfortable. So next time you feel those little bumps during your flight, remember it's just like driving over a bumpy road. Totally normal and nothing to worry about. So, you're sitting in your seat, feeling that jolt of turbulence, wondering if it's going to break the plane or maybe even worse, think it might fly apart. But here's the thing. Planes are designed to handle all kinds of turbulence with ease. Imagine a car driving over a bumpy road. The suspension system is there to soften those bumps and keep you comfortable inside, right? Well, planes work in a similar way. They're built with a structural design that allows them to flex slightly when they hit rough patches in the air. Think of a plane as a giant rubber band. It's not just rigid metal, it has some give. The wings and fuselage are made from strong yet flexible materials, which means they can bend and absorb energy when turbulence shakes things up. If you ever looked at an airplane close up, you'd see those big, curved wings and the robust frame. They're like a superhero ready to face any challenge. Pilots have special instruments and techniques to help them navigate through turbulent air. They use radar and other advanced systems to see what's coming their way, much like a driver might watch for potholes ahead on the road. And when they do encounter turbulence, pilots can adjust the plane's speed or altitude slightly to smooth out the ride. During a particularly bumpy flight, you might hear the pilot say something like, "We're experiencing some natural turbulence," and then maybe make small changes to the plane's trajectory. These little adjustments help keep everyone safe and comfortable. And even though it feels intense in the moment, remember that every aircraft is thoroughly tested for strength and flexibility. In fact, the vast majority of flights experience some degree of turbulence at one point or another, but thanks to modern design and technology, it's all handled gracefully. Okay, so let's talk about something that's going to make you feel even more reassured. How safe flying really is. It might surprise you to know that airplanes are designed with an incredibly high safety margin, and the odds of being involved in a plane crash are actually incredibly rare. Now, imagine you're driving your car on a bumpy road. Sometimes you might hit a pothole or feel a jolt. It's uncomfortable, but not dangerous, right? Well, planes handle turbulence just like that too, but on an even bigger scale. Planes are built with a safety factor that means they can withstand much more than regular bumps in the air. And here's the part most people don't know. Airplanes undergo rigorous maintenance and inspection. Think of it as getting your car serviced every time you use it. Pilots follow strict procedures to check everything from the wings to the engines, ensuring that nothing is even slightly off. It's a process that's incredibly thorough and continuous. But what about turbulence? Yes, it can be scary when your seatbelt light turns on, but remember, pilots are trained to handle this. They know exactly how to react to different levels of turbulence, using their expertise to keep the plane stable and passengers safe. Turbulence might feel intense, but in reality, it's far less dangerous than you think. So what does all of this mean? It means that flying is one of the safest ways to travel. You have a tiny fraction of chance of being involved in an accident. That's why we can say with confidence that not only are planes designed to handle bumps and jolts, but they're also maintained and operated by professionals who know exactly what to do. Let's think about it. If you travel by car every day, the odds of a serious accident happening to your vehicle are incredibly low. The same goes for airplanes. While turbulence can be uncomfortable, it is not a significant safety concern thanks to these rigorous maintenance checks and the extensive training of pilots. Incredible, right? That's the reassurance behind flight safety. So next time you're on a bumpy ride, know that your airplane is built to handle it. And so are the professionals watching over every aspect of your journey. So, to answer the question, what every passenger gets wrong about flying is the idea that turbulence is a sign of danger or a cause for concern, when in fact it's just a normal part of the flight experience. And by understanding what turbulence is and how planes are designed to handle it, we can alleviate some of the anxiety associated with flying. Imagine you're on a bumpy ride in a car. Sometimes the road is smooth, but other times you encounter bumps or potholes. The car handles these bumps with its suspension system, springy parts that absorb the shock. Planes are built similarly. They have special systems to handle turbulence, just like your car has springs and shock absorbers. Turbulence can be caused by many things: wind patterns, temperature differences in the atmosphere, or even nearby mountains. It's not uncommon for turbulence to occur, especially during takeoff and landing, when you're closer to more turbulent air near the ground. And let's face it, on a clear day at 30,000 feet, you're actually flying through some of the most stable air. And here's the surprising part. Planes are built to withstand incredible forces. Commercial airliners are tested to ensure they can handle loads far beyond what they would ever experience during normal flight. Incredibly rare, but in extremely severe turbulence cases, some small cracks or dings might appear on the plane, much like a car that runs over a pothole and then continues driving smoothly. But don't worry, even if there are minor impacts to the aircraft, it's not going to cause any harm. The pilots have advanced training and equipment to handle such situations. If anything does happen, they can adjust their route or altitude to avoid further turbulence. So remember, next time you feel a gentle shake or bump, just think of it as your plane's suspension system doing its job. It's there to keep the ride smooth and safe for everyone on board. And by understanding that turbulence is normal, you can relax a little more during your flight. Okay. So let's wrap up today's episode by answering the question that started it all: what every passenger gets wrong about flying. We've talked a lot about turbulence and how common misunderstandings can cause unnecessary worry. But now you know the truth. Turbulence isn't some terrifying force from outer space or an ominous sign of impending doom. It's simply air that moves in different directions, much like when you stir up your coffee. And here's the surprising part. The planes are designed to handle turbulence incredibly well. The wings and tail are shaped to withstand even the strongest gusts. Pilots have special training for handling rough weather. And while turbulence can be jarring, it's incredibly rare that it causes any real harm or delays flights significantly. So, next time you feel those unexpected bumps and twists, remember, they're just a part of your flight experience, nothing to fear. Instead, think of them as a reminder of how amazing engineering is. These planes are built to handle all sorts of weather conditions without breaking a sweat. Now, if you're still curious about more aviation myths and facts, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more explanatory content like this. With each video, we aim to make flying clearer, more fascinating, and reassuring.